Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to be introducing Changing Leaves, which is a brand new online bundle that Stampin' Up! Is offering now as of July the 3rd. This is the card I'm going to be making. It's just a tiny bit different in that it's oversized. Instead of 4 1/4, it's 4 1/2. Instead of 5 1/2 inches tall, it's 5 5/8. So just a tiny bit larger, which means at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to make an envelope to fit the card. So if you have a Stampin' Up! Envelope maker, which they sold a number of years ago, that's what I'm going to be using to show you. And then I have 2 more cards that I've actually cased. This one I made myself and designed, but 2 more cards that I've cased that I think are so pretty. And I'm going to be showing you those cards too. So let's see what comes in the bundle. So you're going to get all of the dies, you're going to get the stamps, and you're going to get the embossing folder. So let me just pull this out. Okay, so the Changing Leaves bundle online, 164,139. And then I'm also going to be using some DSP called Iconic Celebrations. I'm going to be using the Cajun Craze, but there's a lot of other seasons in here. So we've got Christmas trees. I'm not even sure what that is. It's red. Okay, candy canes, green. We've got Celebration for New Year's. Got hearts. I love this plaid. And I love the stripes. We've got leaves. Oh, Happy New Year. More Christmas trees, snowflakes, pumpkins. Oh, I love the brown crisscross. Here's doves, stripes. Okay, more stars, really pretty. It's beautiful. It's Iconic Celebrations, and it is an online feature. So 164,193. So make sure if you decide to get the Changing Leaves bundle, just use this one number to get all 3 of these products, okay? So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay, now, let's say, okay, I'm gonna take out this big die. And if you wanted to get, let's see, if you wanted to get leaves, or if you wanna make a 6x6 card, okay, like this, I cut this one down, but I did cut out a lot of leaves. Here's how you use this. So you're gonna find the side that has the logo on it, open it up, and then this is gonna fit over that side. And you'll feel it, there it is, it kind of locks into place. So then you're either gonna put in, you know, I cut this down, but I had 6x6 to begin with. So let's just say I'm gonna do white. Okay, so you're gonna put whatever cardstock it is you want. This is going to cut and emboss. And then when you fold it up, here's your sandwich. You're going to use your big number 1 platform, and then you're going to put number 4 over it and run it through your machine. And just make sure that the folded edge always goes through first. Okay, so there's your sandwich. Okay, now, all right, so like I say, I wanted to make a card that was a little bit more of a standard size. If you're happy with a 5 1/2 by 5 1/4 card or 6x6 card, then all you need to do is run this through, cut it and emboss it, and then you've got something to start working with. But let me show you what to do if you want something like what I'm doing. Okay, so you don't need 6x6. You can just use 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And the trick is that, okay, the configuration here, I don't even know if you can see that, you have to take this die and turn it a little bit to the left, like that, so that this leaf is over that leaf. Because when you look at it with the way that Stampin' Up! Has it in the bundle, you can't cut this down to 5 to 4 1/2. It's just the configuration won't allow it. So 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. So if you want a smaller card, what we're gonna do is cut first and emboss second. Okay, so cut first. So what we're gonna do is just take your piece of cardstock, and then, like I say, turn it so that this leaf is right over that one, and you just run it through like a normal die and cut this out. Then you're going to cut it down to the size that you want, And for me, that was going to be 4.5 by 5 3/8. So now that it's cut down to the proper size, I'm going to take that and I'm going to run it through the embossing folder. So just put it in the embossing folder any way you want it. It's going to be pretty no matter, you know, what angle you put it in. Okay, so now it's embossed. So here we go. So now I'm ready to make the card. Now the card base is going to be 9 inches this way, because folded it's going to be 4.5, and then 5 5/8 this way. Okay. And I did use this to cut out my pretty leaves, Cajun Craze, because I wanted them embossed and looking really pretty for this card. Okay, so let me put the die aside. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is take our DSP, which is cut down ever so slightly. So not much. And we're just going to put that right onto our card. And let's see, is that gonna do it? I think so. Is that over? Hope not. Okay, now I put Dotto on here already because I started making this and realized I had done something wrong. So anyway, I had to start the video over. Okay, so now I'm gonna place this right on top of that. Let's see if I can get it on there correctly. Hold on. Okay. Phew. Okay, looking good. All right, here we go. So just kind of go over that, make sure it's all stuck. Is that stuck? Oh well, I think that's okay. All right, so now here's my card. It's measuring 4 1/4 by 5 5/8, so just slightly over. Now, I showed you the piece that I used to cut out and emboss. Look how pretty these are. Can you see them? Like embossed. So it embosses as it cuts. And then the little maple leaf. And what I'm going to do is I'm just putting those, here you can watch what I'm doing, I'm just putting them slightly off to the right. So this was my own brainstorm. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to give it a try. So I'm just putting it slightly off to the right. Okay, now we'll do this one. Again, slightly off to the right. Kind of fun. Okay, now our big one. I haven't actually had more time to play with this to see what else I can design, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so slightly off to the right. Maybe about like, oops, can't do that. That's going to go over the edge. So this can't go past that edge. How's that going to work? Okay, I think that's going to work. Okay, then in this set is this greeting, a little note to brighten your day. This die is also in the bundle, and so I'm not going to mount it on anything. I'm just going to simply add it to the card, and it's going to be right down here in the corner. Little note to brighten your day. Okay, then I wanted something kind of perky and pretty on it, and so I'm using these, and these are called adhesive backed sparkle gems. Adhesive backed sparkle gems. And I'm going to use the gold. Let's find a take your pick. So really, this card is pretty simple once you kind of figure out what you want to do. It just took me a minute. I mean, I made this card a while ago, and then when I went to make it again, oh, I could not remember how I did it. It probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to try to remember, oh, I cut first and embossed second. Oh, yeah. Okay, then inside, this is another die that's in that beautiful bundle. So we're just going to put this inside. Just kind of be a nice surprise when somebody opens that up. Okay, so there's your card. I just love it. It's a little bit different. Okay, but now our problem is it's not going to fit into a standard size envelope. Oh, before I show you the envelope, let me show you the other two cards. Okay, so this one, let's see, I put brushed metallic adhesive back dots, and they're brass, and they are retired, but you might have them. So I just put a couple of circles underneath this one. And this paper is also from the Iconic Celebrations. So I just cut it down, pretty basic, pretty simple. And then I put a 1-inch strip because you're gonna end up with extra of this paper since it's 6x6. So I thought, okay, that's a really pretty card, very simple. And then I made these for my last class that I taught. So this was, again, somebody else's idea. It's 3 layers. So the top one is embossed, not cut, just embossed, and 3 layers of white. And I did it in all 3 of the colors. So this is Petunia Pop. And these are still in bags. So we've got Peach Pie and Shy Shamrock and Summer Splash. You can tell the Summer Splash has a little bit of blue in it. And this one is more green, the Shy Shamrock, and then Pretty in Pink. Okay, and then these cute little things are the 24, 26 in color resin dots, and they come in all 5 colors. So that's what I used on the card. So, okay, so those 2 cards. Okay, let me move all this out of the way. All right, now to the envelope. Yes, to the envelope. Okay, so do you have your, if you have, what is it called? Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board. This is what it looks like. Stampin' Up! Punch board, envelope punch board. And, okay, so our card, so let's take a look at this. Our card is 4.5 by 5 5/8. So this is the card size. So you're looking for the card size. 4.5 by 7, nope, don't need it that big. 4.5 by 6.5, no, here we go. 4.5 by 6, perfect. Okay, then the next little column says paper size. So it's telling me to get a piece of paper that's 8.5 by 8.5. And then it tells me 3 3/4 is where I'm gonna make my first mark. So I'll explain that in just a minute. So let me go ahead and make this, and then I'm gonna explain to you about the paper. Okay, so it said, start your first mark at 3 3/4. So this is a little scoring stick, whatever you want to call it. So you come across here to 3 3/4, you make your first punch, and then you just score right down the line that's there. Now that's the only time you have to use that. Now I'm going to just bring this score line right over to the little pointer. That's going to, oops, I'm going to move it a tiny bit more. I'm going to do that, punch, and make my score line. Then I'm going to bring it over to the pointer. I'm going to punch and make my score line. Then one more time, bring it over to the pointer, right there, line it up, punch, and make my score line. All right, so now all I have to do is take my bone folder and fold these up. And this is going to be the perfect size envelope for my oversized card. Okay, now get rid of these. Okay, now one thing I'm not crazy about is I don't love it sticking up like this. So what I like to do is just take a little cutter, any cutter that you have, and I'm just gonna stick it in here. I don't have any specific amount, a little bit. Is that enough? Okay. So now I'm gonna fold it. I'll put that inside. Nope, not gonna do that. See, even so, I didn't get those exactly right, but that's okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put adhesive down this edge and on this edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold it up. And let's see if my card is going to fit in there. Perfect. Okay, then they do have envelope glue, and I think I used to have some, but I have no idea where it is. So I'm just going to use my regular adhesive when I go to close it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, since this paper is left over, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to put it right along the front like this. Wouldn't it be fun to get something with that decor? Then you look inside, here you go, so pretty. I love it. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the paper. You can do this with just typing paper. It's not a real sturdy envelope, but it can be done if you only need 8.5 by 8.5, and that's all we need for this. I bought my paper originally at Kelly Paper. It's 11 by 17, so I can actually make 2 of this size envelope out of it. And basically, this is 17 by 11. It's 148 GSM, that's gram per square meter. I have no idea what that means. But I went on the internet to look up 148 GSM, and it really is talking about the weight of the paper. So it said that a Post-it note is 170 GSM. So this is, if you feel a Post-it note, that's going to be a little bit thicker than this envelope paper, even though this feels to me even a little thicker than this. So what I would do is just go to a paper store, whether it's Office Depot or Staples, or maybe you have a Kelly Paper that's just completely a paper store, and just tell them that you want some paper that would work to make an envelope. And then just do what I said, look down your measurements. Just remember, there's the card size, the paper size, and here's where you start your first point, your first punch, and your first score. It's really quite simple to do, so practice on typing paper for this card. So anyway, let me put my 3 cards out. Move this out of the way. There you go. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. It was so much fun designing this card, and I hope you'll give it a try. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.